thank you for creating the space for me to do, because now I feel better. Now everybody can go suck a big bag of dicks.
This is Sasha from Women's Fight News, sponsored by Champions Memorabilia.
Hi everyone, this is Sasha from Women's Fight News, sponsored by Champions Memorabilia. I am joined by super light, unified world champion Kelly Reis and trainer manager Brian Cohen. How are you both doing?
Good.
Trainer manager husband Brian Cohen.
Oh, well, I was literally about to start with that because I wanted to say, obviously, you work very close together.
We do.
And you're husband and wife. Now, can I just say, wow, because how's that dynamic work? Because you are brave people.
It was great. I mean, we've known each other for a long time and we've been best friends for, I don't know, 6-7 years. Mm-hmm. So it's really, it works. You know what I mean? So we have a very good foundation of friendship, and like, it's just taken another step. I think it's made us closer. And actually, you know, for me, like the trust I have with him as my manager to help coaching me is just helped it. You know what I mean? Because I don't really trust many people, but so it's just, it helps the dynamic. It's sometimes there's days in the gym where, you know, he's moody, I'm moody, and it's just like whatever, but we got it. We're coach and fighter. Like as soon as we walk in the gym, it's a whole different dynamic. That doesn't ever, he doesn't know, oh, it's okay. No, it's not. He's not like that anyway. It's totally cut off, and we're fighter coach. You know what I mean? I don't look at him as, oh, my husband. I'm just like, no, you're my coach. Well, tell me what to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was going to say that I'm sure like the dynamic must be difficult, but if you can split it, like you say, when you're in the gym, and that's it. But are the days when, like, you know, you've done each other's head in, you know, does he push you a little bit harder maybe after a couple of arguments?
I mean, he's always pushing me harder. I know when Evan's in camp, we're sparring, he pushes her harder to push me harder. Sometimes me and Eb, like the first, he'll be like, just work, and we'll go at it like for 3 rounds. He's like, what did I miss at breakfast?
So Eb lived here with us for like 7 months. Because she couldn't go back to Australia, obviously. And, you know, I would go to the gym first to get some training out of the way with other fighters and whatnot. And then they would come in, let's do a little light sparring. Then they would just light it up in the gym. And I was like, yo, what happened? Like, who didn't wash a cup? Who got fucking like, what happened? Oh, no, you know, Eb is like, oh, you know, fuck it, mate. We're just working.
Yeah, I'm like, well, shit, she hit me. I hit her. She hit me hard. I hit her. Fuck it.
It turns into like Gotti Ward in the gym at least once a week with those two.
Yeah, it does. It's fun.
Yeah, and I think the type of people you both are, there's no way you would have a casual sparring session. That just surely would never happen between you two.
No.
She hits like a 300-pound black man that did at Rikers Island, honestly. So they're fucking working with that girl. But I love it because she loves to learn. I love to learn, and she's very visual. So there's some things that we try to show her that she gets better when I'm doing it to her. And I'm like, see, I keep hitting you with the jabs, move your head, kind of a thing. So it's a lot of fun, man. I learned so much helping her out, coaching, even myself. So I enjoy it.
Yeah, and that was kind of a really great relationship as well. You've seen how much Ebanie like came on leaps and bounds actually after that spell with you both as well. And obviously she's now moved on to be world champion as well.
Yeah. It's funny to see like the evolution of her from like when she first came here. She came here 2 weeks prior to a bout that I have for her in Indiana. And like literally we tortured her with like a weight vest and she's like, I just want to go forward. I'm like, no, you're going to box. You know what I mean? And I just want to go forward. No, you're going to use your jab. And she had the weight vest on. Come on, mate. Come on. You're fucking killing me. And so from then to now is just to see her grow is just amazing. And it couldn't happen to a better person because she is just a lovely, lovely, lovely human being.
Yeah. She is. It's awesome.
You know, people see her, they see the blonde hair, you know, the breastises and all that stuff. But to like really know Eb is to love Eb.
Yeah, she's like an awesome human. She's like one of my favorite people. I only have a few, but like seriously, we bonded really fast. I was highly impressed when I saw her because I knew she was in Philadelphia for those 2 weeks and I commentated the fight. So I saw a video of her before, and then she was working with him and my prior coach. And I was like, the little tweaks that he told me he did, I was like, oh, she listens. She's like a little sponge. So it was amazing. Somebody who works as hard as she does and absorbs everything that you teach her is just, it's so pleasant to watch. She listens, like it's like playing a video game.
Yeah, and I think that's how it's come across, actually. Like you say, she's like a sponge, and you just see improvements every fight. So I was so pleased when she won that world title, and she's not going to be short of fights. Everyone's calling out Ebanie Bridges now, aren't they? Everyone wants a piece of Ebanie.
No, they don't want a piece of. They want payday.
Well, yeah,
they want payday.
They want pay. Everybody wants a payday, but they're going to have to get in line, and it's not going to be easy to get a fight with her just because. How hard she works on social media. They don't do any of that work. She's a very good self-promoter. So for people to call, they could call her out till they turn white, purple, black, blue, whatever different colors they want to turn. But at the end of the day, getting a fight with Eb is not going to be easy.
No. Yeah, and nor it should be.
So they could, like I said, Ellie Scotney, whoever else. She could keep on fighting little mini fighters and stuff like that, and keep calling Eb out. I mean, I got plenty of 118 pounders that Ellie Scotney could fight. She could fight Melissa Odessa Parker, who she already turned down. She turned down Melissa Odessa Parker. I got Jamie Mitchell.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
When did Ellie turn down Parker? Then?
Prior to this fight, it was this fight was supposed to be Melissa Odessa Parker, but they said no.
Right, interesting.
You have all kinds of
all the gossip. I'm a huge fan of Melissa Parker.
Oh yeah,
the tea is hot.
She's great. Melissa Parker is great, and I would love to see her back in the ring. I feel like it's been a while now. She gets avoided quite a lot.
So she's fighting actually June 17th in Houston, Texas.
Brilliant.
She had a little issue with a promoter, so we had to deal with a promotional issue. Well, we got a release from that promoter. I actually offered her to Matchroom because I'm noticing that they have a lot of 118-pound champions. And the first time I offered her for Ellie Scotney, crickets.
Wow, right.
So eventually I kept calling my contact at Matchroom, and they said they turned her down. So she could have fought Ellie Scotney if she had, or if their management team had any type of like able to play chess, you would have fought the IBO 118 champion, and then you could have called out Ebanie Bridges. You know what I mean? Yeah. So whatever.
Interesting. Who would you like to see Ebanie in the ring with next?
Ebanie's going to do a voluntary defense. Since she just dethroned the longest reigning world champion in that division, she's going to do a voluntary defense. It's going to be probably somebody that I pick, and that's going to be that. So everybody can, get their little tweets ready and their little Instagram posts ready. And she's not going to. She's going to fight somebody that obviously I pick and Matchroom agrees upon, but she's not going to. None of these little stupid call outs. She's not fighting anybody like that. It's not happening.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fair though, isn't it? Like you say, she's just defeated the longest reigning champion as well. I think she deserves a bit more respect than these fighters calling her out before they've even stepped up to world level.
So after Ebanie beat, the one that Scotney fought last night.
Roman,
nobody wanted to fight Roman. So it's funny how, and I'm not blaming Matchroom, but this is kind of lazy matchmaking, is, after a fighter, somewhat gets beat, they always keep recycling that fighter. You know what I mean? And they usually do it with a bigger fighter. Like Roman shouldn't be fighting 22. She's a little teeny tiny girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's small.
118 too. Like
she is.
Yeah, I mean, look how many times they recycled for Reis until it bit them in the ass with Saint Ryan.
Yeah.
I mean,
that is very true. And actually, if we talk about like Ellie Scotney and Ebanie Bridges, they've had 3 of the same opponents. They did, huh? Yeah, they've had 3 of the same now. So it is interesting when you say like they recycle. They definitely do that. That seems to be a common theme with the Matchroom for sure at the minute.
Yeah. It's called lazy matchmaking.
Yeah. Callie, I'm going to get on to you first off. Like, congratulations. Obviously, I know your fight was back in November, which I'm sure feels like a lifetime ago. But congratulations, because that was such an epic fight from start to finish.
I know it was. And I gotta say, like, and I'll get into all the other stuff later, but I wouldn't want to have that type of fight with any other person other than Jessica Camara. I mean, she's good, and she's gotten kind of no eyes on her. And I'm pleasantly surprised at how good the fight was. And I'm thankful that it was with her, because now she gets to have, pushing her career. And it was like a Gotti Ward female version. It's like we just shot each other for 10 rounds. So thank you. I appreciate that.
No, it was great. Like I say, obviously Jessica's stock has rose as well from that fight, which is great to see. She does deserve it. She come off a great win against like Heather Hardy as well. And I'm a big fan of her. So I hope she continues to do well. But it was split decision, but I definitely thought you'd got the edge with a good few rounds. But it was just a bloodbath from start to finish. And are they the fights that you want, and that, that's what you train for, I suppose?
No, that's not. As a fighter, you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that too many times, especially you want to hear that was boring. Like you just kind of coast through it. Like I said, I haven't had those fights. It's what I mean. When I win, I win. But the last two fights, I've had really close fights, and due to my experience, those last two rounds, I knew that I had to pull it, really, really separate the two, and I had to pull that out. I can honestly say, I'll walk you through the fight. I remember sitting on the stool, looking at the card girl to see what round it was. And we were going into round 4, and I was done. Like I was done. My energy, just got straight depleted from my body. And this is something I've been dealing with personally. It started when I was 22. And it's something that I probably should have had handled a long time ago. But the last two fights, it really caught up to me. Really bad, but I'm the type to just put my head down and do the work. If I have a fight, if I have to I'm not going to not fight. I'm going to figure it out. And I had to dig down to the depths of a whole nother realm. I knew I was capable to push myself through a fight, but I don't want to have to do that again. I don't want to have to do that to myself. I don't want to do that to him in the corner, or my team in the corner. I'm glad I was able to do that. And as a fighter, I literally was like, I will just die before I quit swinging. I don't care how ugly it looks. I'm going to finish this fucking fight. You know what I mean? So that's something you don't want to hear as a fighter, though. You don't want to be in those fights.
No, as entertaining as they are for the fans, of course, like you say, you want to get through them. I suppose with ease at the end of the day, don't you? Brian, what's it like being in the corner then, knowing that Callie's going through that at the time?
Oh man, I told her, so here's one of the reasons why the fight hasn't happened with Cameron, and I'll segue into the reason why. In that corner that night, the way we train here in Philly, and Ebanie, whoever's trained, Ebanie, Jamie Mitchell, whoever trained here can attest, we train like dogs. Like, I don't care if it's 100 degrees. I don't care. You know what I mean? Because I used to do it. So a fighter is not going to tell me that they're tired, they're sore, because I used to do it. You know what I mean? I used to wake up at 3 a.m, go running, be in work by 5 o'clock, go to the boxing gym by 1 o'clock, do my strength and conditioning, and do it 6 days a week. So nobody's going to tell me that they're tired. So to see her tired in the third round, going into the fourth, I'm like, no, there's something wrong. And you could have seen when I'm talking to her in the corner, she's not there. She's just not there. Until one round, I had to start
preaching.
What did I start speaking?
He did this whole Teddy Atlas thing in the corner. He had a piece of tape, not a piece of paper, with a native word that means stand strong. It's something I have tattooed on my back. And I say that it means it's, history wise, it's something that one of our war chiefs used to say, Autash, and it means stand strong. So he wrote that on a piece of paper. In the locker room before we went out, he asked me, said, wait, how do you say that on the back of your neck? I think because he knew something was off. I was like, Autash? He's like, wasn't me as a stand strong. He's like, all right. So going into the 9th round, he's like, I was done. He's like, you got native blood going through your veins, man. You're a warrior, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, Autash, what does that mean? I'm like, stand strong. Why are you giving me that right now? He's like, now let me hear you war cry. I looked at him like, bro, I can't even breathe right now. You want me to walk? I was like, yeah. He's like, let me hear it again. I was like, oh God. It sounded like a dead cat, like dying slowly. But then he just gave me that extra push. I was like, ancestors, let's go. And that's when I turned it up. But his little Teddy Atlas speech, he had that tape, it was all wet, full of Vaseline and everything. But he had to, and he did that in the Cecilia fight. He wasn't even my chief second. And going into the 5th round, he had to hop in. Remember exactly what he said verbatim. He's like, yo, Kay, wake up. You're supposed to be here. And that's when I turned it around.
And that's when she knocked her down.
Yeah,
next round.
Turned it around.
So it's like, I don't mind pushing buttons for fighters and corners, because sometimes you can actually transfer your energy to them, right?
Yeah.
But, to your earlier question, how is it, it's my wife, it's my trainer.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you don't want to see anybody you care about taking punches like that when they can do a lot better. And that's no knock on Jessica Camara. I manage Jessica too. That's no knock on Jessica. It's so after that fight, I told her, I said, this is not happening again. This is not happening again. You need to go to the doctors, figure out what's going on. It's enough pushing to the side shit. I said, because now we're in deep waters, and I'm not going through another fight like this. I'm just not doing it, because I won't work your corner. If you don't go get checked out, it's not happening. So I'll
hand it over to me.
Yeah, I'll pass the ball.
So I mean, leading up to that fight, and I'll get into exactly what the problem is in a minute. I was bleeding for 3 weeks prior to that. I didn't know why. So I'll give you a little bit of history. When I was 21, I went through menopause. Didn't know why. I got diagnosed with premature ovarian failure, which means just my body just went through menopause. My ovaries don't produce estrogen. And for those people that want to Google stuff, estrogen is responsible for muscle recovery. It's responsible for a lot of shit. So hence go through menopause when they're older. There's a lot of they have to go through. I had to get a bone density test. I have vitamin D deficiency. My liver function and my kidney function were getting low as well. So when I got diagnosed with that, I didn't have a cycle for 9.5, maybe 10, almost 10 years. And then it came back out of nowhere. And the doctors were like, well, I got checked out. My levels were okay. And they're like, well, this never really happens, but it just happened. So the doctors sent me on my merry way. And from when I first got diagnosed with premature ovarian failure, they should have followed up with the procedure to go follow. They just kind of sent me into life. And I was like, oh, cool. I don't get a cycle. Never have to fight my period. Great. This is awesome. But that's not the case. I should have had something else to replace what I was missing, because I didn't have all that. So when it came back, I went to the doctors. She said, you're weird. This is like a crazy unicorn phenomena, whatever. It's kind of on the merry way. But since 2000 and early to 2020, that's when things started getting really weird, where I'd get a cycle every 2 weeks. It would be like super duper heavy. I didn't know why things were happening. I'm like, this is weird, but I didn't really say anything. I didn't go to the doctor, because they always tell me we don't know what's going on. And I have digestive issues, which was really fucking with me really bad, as far as like having to eat certain things, having to eat certain ways during camps, having to substitute this, having to substitute that. It was just getting ridiculous. So going into the Diana Prazak fight, I thought I was sick. I thought it was just me being sick, because 2 weeks prior to that fight, I had a chest sinus infection that turned into a chest infection, which made my chest burn if I breathed too heavy, which gave me an anxiety attack. So that fight, I thought maybe I'm running out of energy. I just need not to breathe heavy, just get through the fight. Because that fight was fucking close to, and it should have been. I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, I was just sick. But as we're going through camp, I was still having crazy problems with my cycle. I really wasn't telling him, because we're in camp. Me and Eb were in camp hard in 2021. That was a really hard year for us, in a good way. We were busy. We were training. It was camp. We was in camp for damn near 8 months. Like, just fighting, training, fighting, traveling, and other things that I do as well. But I didn't say anything. I didn't want to make him nervous. The other reason why I didn't cancel the Diana Prazak fight is because there was 3 fights that fell out.
So real quick, and I'll just give you the business aspect of it. I work really well. I work well with a lot of promoters, but I've worked really well with Lou DiBella, who I consider, a close friend. Lou always, Lou is the Eddie Hearn of the United States when it comes to female boxing. And he really, even before Eddie started promoting female fights, Lou, I just remember 10, 12 years ago, Lou doing shows in New York with female fighters on it. You know what I mean? So, there was like 3 fights that fell out on the card, and we couldn't replace them, because I try to help promoters as much as I can, especially if my fighters are on them. So then it was Jessica Camara versus Bustos, right? That fight was supposed to happen on that card.
For the WBO.
For the WBO title.
Okay, yeah.
So Bustos was supposed to fight Camara, but Bustos never got on the airplane. So Camara.
Why?
I don't know. She didn't feel like it. I have no idea.
Yeah, so
I'm sleeping.
Yeah, so she never got on the airplane. So we had to call an audible. So the audible was to throw the WBO title, the IBO title onto that fight with Prazak. So that's what we did. You know what I mean? If she would have pulled out, the card would have got canceled. Lou would have lost his deal with UFC Fight Pass. And again, trying to be a good soldier, she'll put her head down and just keep on trucking.
Wow. And because we didn't want to lose the IBO title or the WBO because they wouldn't approve Prazak.
WBA.
No, we didn't want to lose the WBO either because originally I was supposed to fight Diana Prazak for the WBO, but they wouldn't approve her. Hence the reason why they put the IBO on, but we didn't want to lose that WBO title for this bracket, this tournament we had. So we put the IBO on it. And instead of saying, hey guys, I'm really sick, I can't breathe, I'm having anxiety. If I would have pulled out, like you said, the whole show would have went, somebody else would have snatched up those titles and the tournament would have happened. So I was like, let me not say anything. I'm just going to fight. In that fight, I was like, I should have fucking texted.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of pressure though.
I can laugh at it now, but I was like, because Prazak is just a busy motherfucker. Christ, would you just calm down? Give me a minute. But I'm like, fuck me, man. I just should have said I was sick. But I'm not like that. I've been fighting for almost 14 years professional now. I've been clawing and scratching my way up to where I'm at to get where I'm at and where women's boxing is. So it would be really fucking stupid for me to stop fighting now or say, I want to fight because I feel sick. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to take the opportunity. So fast forwarding into, where I'm at now, after this fight, like you said, he threatened my entire life about go get checked. I'm like, okay, fine.
Fair enough.
I went to go get checked. I have, an endocrinologist. I have a gynecologist. I have a gastrologist. I have about 4 or 5 doctors on. And my endocrinologist, she actually has a team of people working on my case because I had to get extensive testing because my blood work was showing highly postmenopausal, like the highest whatever percentage you can have. That was in my blood. Now, my primary care doctor was concerned because my liver function and my kidney function are low, which I don't know why. And we also found out through this whole fun thing that I have a thyroid issue now as well. Okay. So, but going back to other tests that they did, my blood work would say one thing, and then the other test would say, no, you're fine. You have a womb of a goddess. I don't understand. However, because of what the blood work said and the fact that I was just now at this point after the fight, I just bleed all the time, all the time, just bleed all the time. And just, I'm tired. It gets ridiculous. I can't train. It's like, I wake up one day and I'm okay. The next day I'm like, help me. I need a blood transfusion. It's not consistent. So I had another procedure where they had to remove whatever was in my ovaries and test that to make sure it wasn't cancerous. It's not cancerous.
You had a polyp, right?
I had a polyp.
Yeah, it was a
polyp. Right, I know, yeah.
Yeah, so they want to make sure I had no more, make sure it wasn't cancerous, because at the end of the day, because of what my blood work says, I shouldn't be bleeding. But after I got that procedure, I bled for a month and a half straight.
Yeah.
On birth control. They doubled my birth control to try to put the hormones that I don't have, which is progesterone and estrogen, into my body. But my body was still having a cycle for like a month straight. So I'm still at this point right now.
But tell her all the procedures you had that end in a PY.
Oh, I had a hysteroscopy, and then for the gastrologist, I had an endoscopy and a colonoscopy, and then I had to get blood work every week with something. I had to go get ultrasounds, internal, external. I had to go. It started to turn into, and it's starting to turn into, which I'm okay now, a mental issue, a mental health issue. Because of putting me on the hormones that I haven't had for, 12, 13 years, that makes your body change. So my body changes from being a super lightweight to damn near being a heavyweight, because now I have to be on these hormones, and it's something that my body needs that doesn't produce. Hence the reason why I was feeling tired. My everything, the best way I can describe it to you, it just felt like somebody sucked the energy right out of me. Like you could see it in the fight. Like I just had no energy, and I was trying, but I just had no energy. So as far as the gastrologist goes, well, let me back up. My endocrinologist said what happened when I went through menopause when I was 21 was there was an autoimmune something that attacked my ovaries that made them shut down. We don't know what it is, hence the reason why I got sent to a gastrologist to make sure that I didn't have any autoimmune disease or Crohn's or whatever to go on with that. That's okay. I'm okay. I got some issues there, but they're manageable. So we're still dealing with the whole cycle being off and still bleeding now. And there's another procedure I probably have to go and do beforehand. Needless to say, this fight isn't happening and hasn't happened, not because I don't want it to, because it's something out of my fucking control that my body, that's something that should have happened, I don't fucking 10 years ago that I should have made sure of, but I didn't. And also the reason why it's mental health issues, because when I got diagnosed with that at 21, I got told I couldn't have any children. I want children. So going through all this shit and now playing around with going through this whole thing all over again, because it took me a long time to be okay with that. And then having my cycle come back and not know what's going on, it's like really fucked up. As a woman, professional athlete as well, I'm telling y'all this because this is a lot of shit that women go through. Just as a woman, let alone being an athlete, especially I'm 35, almost 36 now. So your body changes. So that's where we're fucking at. So it ain't because I don't want to fucking fight. It ain't because we can't come to an agreement on a contract. It ain't because whatever these other conspiracy theories, it's because it's something out of my motherfucking control that he has to save me from. Because if it was up to me, I'd be fighting her last night. I don't give a fuck. I've never ducked a fight. I go anywhere, anyone, anytime, any fucking weight from 165 down to 140. So for fuck's sake, everybody who has these fucking conspiracy theories, why don't you ask a fucking question instead of assuming a bunch of shit? Because everybody having these assumptions, I can whoop your ass with my fucking eyes closed in a coma. So shut the fuck up, because I'm really fucking sick of it. When I get cleared from my doctors, best believe I will fight. I can't right now. I can't even fucking train right now. But when I get cleared, best believe I'm going to be in a fucking hell camp because I want to fight. The last thing I want is not to fight. The first thing I want, me and Cameron want, we want to fucking fight. We want to brawl. I want to fight. I love to fight. I can't wait to fight. But unfortunately, I got weight in my body to fucking stop having an attitude.
You know, and here's another thing, you know, and I know you talked quite extensively there for a moment.
I'm sorry.
It was very good, but
that was great then.
I've kept Matchroom informed with everything. So from right after her fight, you know, I contacted Eddie. I said, listen, she has some health issues that I need to get addressed. Otherwise, she's not fighting again. You know what I mean? So, okay, he was okay with everything. You know, they've been really supportive, but I don't know why it's a big secret. I send them letters from her doctor. I send them reports. I let them know what's going on constantly. And anybody can simply ask me a fucking question and I'll answer it. You know what I mean? Nobody contacted me. You see shit, you know, you see shit on social media. She's not fighting. You know, ask a question. Like, you know, you have people that claim to be reporters and have little podcasts and stuff like that. They're just worried about Chantelle Cameron. Listen, February 4th, when Jamie Mitchell fought Skelly, right, in Arizona. I just happened to be there with Jessica's trainer because he had a fighter fighting on the Matchroom card. So Eddie, prior to the weigh-in, he says, hey, Brian, hey, Ian, come here. Ian is Jessica's trainer. I said, what's up, Eddie? He says, hey, how would you like to do the fight with Camara and Cameron? I said, yo, perfect. I said, because she's not going to be ready anytime soon. I know Cameron likes to stay busy. Absolutely. Ian was right there, her trainer. He says, I said, you okay with that, Ian? Oh, absolutely. Let's get it on. Okay. Radio silence till about the beginning of March, right? Eddie, what's going on? Could you tell me something? Because I think he said he wanted to do it in April or something like that. I think he wanted to do it in April. And right?
Yeah, because that's what we were trying to do with our fight. So
Right. So he wanted to do it in April, and he says Cameron don't want the fight with Camara.
Nice, okay. Yeah.
Because she wants something softer because she wants to make sure she makes it to the tournament. But she could have fought in April. But you know, I don't know.
They said that Jessica was too tough.
Jessica was too tough. I mean, so we're doing our part. Everybody's informed and everything like that. It's not like I said. She's just not fighting. There's no contractual issues. There's nothing. She's just not
there's
healthy.
No venue issues. There's no money issues. It's a tournament. We already agreed to everything.
When she's healthy, she'll
That's the thing. That's why I didn't get what people were saying. That was the tournament style. So surely that was all agreed with anyway. So I think, again, it's just people who think they know a lot about boxing that don't know anything, who like to, you know, try and voice their opinion. But I must say, I'm really sorry to hear that you're going through all of that, because that sounds just a horrendous situation that you're in, and something obviously that's so out of your control. And, you know, your health is priority anyway. It's not about the next fight. It's about obviously your long-term health and the rest of your life.
Yeah, I mean, as he said, he, you know, as he delicately put it, my wife's fucking health is more important than some stupid, silly tournament, which, of course, I love this game. That's what I want to do. But I had to take a step back. It's almost like I had to have that fight for me to be like, okay, something really is wrong. Maybe I should say something now. You know what I mean? And
good job you did.
I'm glad I did, because now we're closer to answers, a lot closer than I've ever been. And it's like I said, my doctors are like, it's just a crazy situation. It's so detailed and so like intricately detailed that it's really hard. So they got to go. It's trial and error. If it was, you have this is fix it, I'd probably be okay to fight in like June or something. But it's trial and error. It's take this, do this. We're gonna do this procedure, that. And so it's a lot of trial and error. Right now, I'm waiting to see what happens because we did something else. So I had to see what's
of course.
And I'm not the type to put my personal business out on social media. I'll, you know, have the banter back and forth, talk shit, and put my stuff out, put stuff that means something to me with the indigenous issues that I put out. But I'm not gonna be, oh, woe is me, I stubbed my toe. It's nobody's business. I don't owe anybody shit. But now I shut everybody the fuck up. This is what's going on. You know the entire story. That's what's going on. Trust me, if I could control it right now, if I could say, hey, vagina don't have an attitude, let's get on a regular cycle, I would, but I can't right now. So it's completely out of my control. I don't know, tomorrow I might wake up and something else might be off. So it's probably one thing that's fucking everything else up, because all my levels are just all over the place. So we just got to get leveled, and when I can fight, I'll fight, point blank.
Yeah, and you know, in the meantime, listen, Chantelle can continue fighting. It's not even like she's in a situation where you are stopping her from fighting. So I don't get what everyone's issue is. And so your health is priority. Let Chantelle do what she needs to do, and when you're back fully fit, fully ready, then you're back, aren't you? And then you can all go from there, I suppose.
Exactly. I mean, it's not, I understand the frustration. She wants to keep busy. I would want it too. I mean, we signed up for the tournament, but shit happens. And this is unfortunately, I've been on the other side of bad decisions. I've been on the other side of shit happens. So now I have to take a step back. Boxing ain't been too nice to me either. You know, I'm from that weird era of where it was, you know, shit, and now it's really good. So I'm, you know, 35, 36, and I've been boxing for almost 14 years. To actually be in the position that I'm in, I want to make sure I'm not going to do that to myself, my team. I'm not going to do that to Chantelle. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm about 50%. Let me just go get a check. I don't fucking function like that. So I want to make sure I'm 110 tip top for that fight, because it's an undisputed fight. Why in the hell would I want to go in there 50%, if that? You know what I mean? So I want to make sure I'm good.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, like, you've just made the point then, obviously you've been a pro for a long time. Everyone sees women's boxing booming now, so they presume it's been this easy all along. And I think people forget the absolute struggle that you have been through to finally get yourself in this position. Why would you get yourself in the position and then voluntarily be like, oh, I don't want to fight now? I finally got my undisputed opportunity, but I'm okay. I've worked all these years, but no, I don't want it anymore.
Great point. That's exactly what people are just coming around now. Like, this has been women's boxing. I'm like, do you, like, Katie, God bless you. Like, you kind of came into the era where you paved the way and things, you know, you made it easier for yourself and all of us. Amanda comes from the same era that I do. Yeah. Like, I saw a fight at the Turning Stone, like when nobody knew who Amanda Serrano was. Like, we both come from that era, like the Mary McGee's, like all these fighters. Like, you don't know what, have you ever had to sell tickets, work 2 jobs and train and have 2 dogs? No. So just have like, you know, God bless Ellie Scotney, Sky, everybody got this graceful, just beautiful women's boxing world that we live in now. It came from the era, feel like I'm old. Like, man, we had to walk in 6 feet of snow barefoot to school. That's how I feel like boxing. So I'm glad it's where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 100%. But I'm, like I say, though, I am sorry to hear that you're going through all this, but thank God, obviously, you know, Ryan put his foot down and said you are not fighting again until you get checked, because there is just so much more bigger than boxing. Of course, it'll be great that, you know, if you get undisputed, but say, you know, your long-term health and your mental health, like you say, to go through all of that especially at such a young age, at 21, and then to go through that now, that mustn't be easy for you. So I suppose your main focus is your physical and your mental health now.
Yeah, because I don't want to drive my husband crazy anymore.
No, poor Brian.
No, he's been good, man. He's always been my support system, even when we were just best friends. So I always know that I have him to help me through this, and God bless I do, because it's not easy. Trust me, it's not. It's not. It's shit. It's like a dice roll every time I wake up. And also,
that's what he signed up for.
To top it all off, all my doctors right now are in Rhode Island. I live in South Philadelphia, so I have to drive 4.5, 5 hours.
Wow, yeah.
Home to go stay with my mom to have these procedures done. And I had to fly him in because I can't drive when I have all these procedures. I need somebody to take care of me afterwards. So I've been driving back and forth to Rhode Island for the last 3 or 4 months, every other weekend for weeks on end, to kind of wait to see results. And should I go back home? Should I stay here? Then they would call me, oh, we have to have you back again. So this has been quite the journey, to be honest.
Yeah. So literally she's doing her part. I'm doing my part. So like to people that like want to criticize her and you know, when is the fight? I have something for everybody here. It's right here. It's a fuck you. It's just a huge fuck you.
Look, I got one too. Yeah, holy shit, I got two.
Yeah, it's just a huge fuck you, because like people don't know the shit that we're really trying to get her healthy, because I know she really wants to fight. And again, we respect the sport so much. I've been in the sport for, I'm just going to sound old, since, you know, I was 8 years old. So I've been in the sport for 38 years. I'm 46. You know what I mean? So I've been in the sport a long time, and I'm not just going to throw a fighter in there to go get a payday. I'd be like, okay, just go in there. You know what I mean? I just don't do that. You know what I mean? So just want to make sure she's healthy and she's good. You know, first and foremost, that's my fighter. That's my product. I'm not going to send anybody out there half-assed. And then secondly, she's my wife. You know what I mean? I'm not going to watch her get hit like she got hit in the last fight. You know what I mean? It's just not happening. And that's what I told her. It's just not happening. So
I was literally watching right hands like, oh, here comes another one. Like I couldn't do anything.
Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe.
Well, what happened with that? So I remember I wasn't at that fight or that week, and then I'm getting these text messages from people like, you'll never guess what's happened. And I was like, as if I've missed it.
Oh, it was the slap heard round Leeds. I'll tell you. You heard that shit from every major city that y'all have over there. You want to tell it, or should I tell it?
I'll run. Go ahead.
Okay, so basically, Rick Ramos has been talking shit about Mary McGee for a long time. They have a rivalry. He was supposed to manage her, and she was deciding that she went with him instead of Brian, except for Rick. So he's acting like a big bitch boy about that. I have nothing to do with it. And then he just started running his mouth about me and Mary. I'm like, wait, what did I do? I ain't never said anything to you. You just needed attention. Poor little Ricky needed attention. So because Mary McGee is his fighter and I'm his wife and his fighter, he was just told him basically very calmly, when I see you, I'm going to smack the dog shit out of you. Stop talking about my fighters and my wife. And he going on social media. And then, you know, he blocked me, he blocked him. And so we're sitting in the lobby, and we were just about to do the presser for the tournament. And we knew that Rick Ramos was there, but we didn't see him all week. It's like Thursday, and we didn't see him. He's in the same hotel, and we haven't put eyes on him or Jessica. And again, I don't have no beef with Jess. She's just guilty by association because Rick keeps talking shit. So he usually gets in like a trance when he's thinking. So I'm sitting there, he's standing up, and I see Rick Ramos come right out of the door, and he's looking dead at him. I'm like, oh, there's your boy. He said, who? I said, Rick Ramos. He goes, oh, really? Where? I see he's walking that way. He goes, okay. He starts walking very briskly. Shit. So he starts walking down this long, it's like far. Like we're talking 25, 30 yards far. I'm like, wow. All right. So then he goes up a stair. I guess he went the wrong way. And when he came back through the door, he's standing there. So Rick Ramos puts his hand out to shake his hand. And he's like, I'm gonna fucking shake your hand. And he said, well, fine, don't shake it. And then he's like, what did you say? I heard that. I'm watching like this. I'm like, oh man. So like, what you say? I seen this shit. I was like, oh man, he took his bare paw of a hand from here, slapped fire out that man's beard. Whap! And I was like, holy shit. And Mary, she's fun. I absolutely love Mary. She was doing an interview with somebody else. All you see her is Papa, oh, what the fuck just happened? What happened? It was hilarious. And he said, I'm calling the cops. He was like, walked back and he just sat there. To add insult to injury, I guess Rick Ramos was looking for Eddie Hearn because they had a meeting. So we're dying laughing about it because it was just funny. So we go upstairs. We had to go to the room to do this tournament. So we're walking down the hallway and I see, Eddie's tall as shit. And he's walking down and I see Rick Ramos behind Eddie. And Eddie makes his face. He goes, oh, for fuck's sake. He's just laughing. You see him trying to hold it in. He's like, all right, guys, like, you just made it like this, but he's like fucking laughing because Rick Ramos was behind him, like, when a school kid gets in trouble and he's behind him. It's like this. I was like, him and Mary would just die. I think Jess was with us too.
Everybody was laughing.
Yeah, it was pretty.
And he did. He called the cops. He really called the cops.
Yeah. And then did anything happen?
Let me tell you something. Where I'm from, a grown man, if anybody attempts to smack anybody or puts their hands on me, I'm going to fight you every time I see you. I'm not going to call the cops. Call the cops.
Call the cops.
And did they turn up?
No, yeah. I had there was 5 cops there.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. So Frank Smith comes to me, mate. You got to talk to these police officers. And Eddie, Brian, Brian, the police are here. Tell them you won't do it again. So I go in there. I had to talk to 5 cops.
But the rest of the day, he's getting phone calls, text messages. Mary's getting phone calls and text messages because Mary, they live close to each other. Yo, I heard you smack Rick Ramos. Thank you so much. Like, he's not very well liked. We've learned throughout the boxing community. There's people coming up to him, hugging him. I'm like, oh my God. Like, yeah, I guess it's a Philly thing because he did that before Will Smith did, and he's from Philly. So,
oh yeah. See, Will Smith took your moment there a little bit, didn't he?
Oh, well, we're slackers. That's what we are.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that, and at first I didn't believe it because I was like, what's going on there? And I had no idea. And then someone who was there and kind of witnessed it, like, no, that happens, just didn't get it on video.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
I didn't want, I was going to follow him when he could, but it was a long walk, and I didn't want to cause any, like, commotion before he did it. Because I knew I was like, I'm just going to sit here. And my phone, I was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to enjoy this moment myself. I remember it. Like, but yeah, so I remember, so when Ebanie fought, I forgot to grab her cup from my room. So we was at the venue. Then I had to get on the bus to go back, grab her cup, and then get on the bus. So I get on the bus from the hotel to go back to the venue. Guess who's sitting on the bus? It's Jess and Rick. He was like, he waved. I'm like, just sat down. I was like,
oh, that's so awkward.
Yeah, it was pretty awkward. So,
So the moral of the story is, don't be a keyboard tough guy.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And then we should tag that guy then that was giving you a lot of hate. And so now he will very much avoid both of you, I think, when you come back to the UK. Rightly so.
Just leave me alone. I mind my business. You know what I mean? Just leave me alone.
No, that's it.
He's tight at times, his muzzle comes off and he's just
that's it. Can we expect you back in the UK? Obviously, you're not going to be fighting at the minute, and I'm sure, when you get to fight, you'll get to fight. I'm presuming you're not really going to be putting a date on it, like you say. It's just, you've just got to see how it goes. But will we expect you to come back to the UK if maybe Ebanie's fighting or anyone else?
Absolutely. She calls us mom, pa. So she absolutely loves it. I love working in her corner, and she won't fight unless we can be there. Like, I told her I may not have been there. Her last fight, I said, I don't know, I have these procedures. She was like, oh no, please. I'm like, I'm gonna make sure I go to your fight first, and then so that's why I put it on hold to go there. Wow. I had her corner and then come back.
So it's funny, and I talked to her this morning too, and she was like, hey, can you come out mid-camp? Because she likes working with me, you know what I mean? So I said, I already spoke to Tibbs. I said, I'm going to come out there mid-camp sometime, and I'll stay out there for about a week.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
If I'm available, I have no problem going out there. She loves like he'll instruct her like to do some things, and then like I said, she's like me, she's very visual, so I'll just work in the ring. So and I love doing that like with her because I know what he's looking for from her, so I know what to do to get it out of her. So it's just we have a really good like work relationship.
It's a good team.
Yeah,
it's a really real good team.
I absolutely love
and then working with Tibbs last fight, he's a real humble guy, man. And
he's a great coach, isn't he?
And you get a lot of trainers who have egos and shit like that, but I'm never like that, and it was just refreshing to see him not like that because he's let me do pad work with her in the dressing room, and we did it at the hotel, and just oh, that's beautiful, do it again. Just a humble guy, man, and he's just a really nice guy, and I enjoy him, and I'm glad that she found somebody there that she could connect with because her travel schedule was just crazy, coming here, going back and forth, Australia, so. It's a good team.
We know she's in good hands, and it makes us really. And he's like I said, no ego in the corner. Yeah. He's doing stuff, asking us stuff. We're watching him. We're just it just really gelled really well because at the end of the day, we could tell Ebanie was the primary focus, and that's always that with us. So we're like, make sure he's like just there for her, right? So it was awesome. He loves her. I love seeing them work, and he's just an awesome dude.
Yeah, he comes across great. And you do see a lot of egos, I think, in coaches. And I think it just hinders the boxer. There's nothing wrong if you've got 2 great minds or 3 great minds, and you're all working together. That's only going to help that boxer. But you see it very, very often where it is not allowed and you can't mix, you can't help. And that's definitely an ego thing. But obviously they must lack confidence in themselves.
I'm not going to
Or they have shortcomings somewhere else.
Oh, you thinking of anyone in particular?
Dick Ramos. No, I won't name nobody else.
I saw it, and I saw the fighter, and it kind of bit them in the ass a little bit. But a good corner will get you through any. Like if I had a different corner in the Celia Brackets fight, or even in the last or the whole last couple of fights, especially this last fight, I wouldn't have been able to.
So we actually got rid of a cancerous tumor that was growing in our camp, and we brought in this guy named Rasheem Jefferson, and Rasheem he just again, just like the Tibbs thing, no ego, you know what I mean, and me being as overprotective as I am, not just as a husband, because like she said, when we go in the gym, it's but I'm confident leaving her with him. You know what I mean? If I have to be somewhere, he's great. He wants to win, and he's just a passionate guy. And you don't ever have to worry about him having an ego or biting your back out or doing something sneaky. He's the most honest, caring, brutally honest. Like,
to a fault, maybe.
Yeah. So we added somebody to her camp. You know what I mean? So it's beautiful. Everything is working well. As soon as she gets well, everything will be well.
Yeah. I'm excited. I see.
Yeah. But that's it, isn't it? And I think like you've kind of find, like you say, you've had a very long career and all the pieces are coming together, and then you've had this obstacle. But just think when you come over it and then you get back in the ring, it'll feel amazing. And when you're in that ring and hopefully fighting, for Unified, I mean, all them challenges, hopefully you can finally say it'll be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at my career, that's just me. This is just something else I got to get through, and I'm always fighting through something, but I'm built for it. So if I wasn't built for it, it wouldn't be happening. And I know it's always a breakthrough. This is everything is temporary. I know this is temporary. And I just want to get back. And I know I don't ever want to go backwards, but I want to get back to me. You know what I mean? Even this thought processes, even the fucking gloves that I wear. Like I want to get back to me. Like the WBC boxing Maricela Conejo's face-off, middleweight me. Not saying I want to be middleweight, but that's where I felt really good. My health went a different way, but I know what we have to do going forward. Like I'm just doing everything different because what I've been doing has gotten me as far as it has. But obviously there's so many variables that are different now. So we just got to switch it up. And I have such a good team that I'm getting impatient because I just want now I know once I get right, because I felt so bad for the last 2 years training and fighting, that I'm so excited to feel good again and fucking train and fight. I can't wait to get in camp. I really can't.
Yeah, and I suppose having to wait as long as you would have had to get back into this camp, you'll probably be the most dangerous fighter you've ever been. to finally be able to like unleash yourself.
Absolutely. I've always been dangerous, you know what I mean? And the fact that now I get to tweak some things, I can't wait. I can't wait to fight again.
No, fingers crossed it happens soon, definitely. Did you at all watch Chantelle Cameron's fight yesterday? And if you did, what did you think of her performance against Bustos? Hi, Brian.
I actually watched them this morning because we just again our weeks, we also opened a gym in December. So we have a gym here that he's always there running it. But we actually watched it this morning because we needed a quiet, calm night. I feel her frustration, and she was just going through the motions. You know what I mean? She just was kind of, just doing what she had to do. And she looked like she was trying to sit down on her punches a little bit more, but she just like looked like she was going through the motion. Not saying she looked bad. She just looked like she just wanted to get the fight over with and just kind of going through the motions. Congratulations on the win. Bustos, she put up a fair fight. And she was there, you know what I mean? But I just feel like she was going through the motions. I'll hand it over to you because I can already just tell you, just about to talk shit.
No. Chantelle is a lovely girl. She's a lovely girl. Her and I actually, DM'd before she fought Melissa Hernandez, because I used to manage Melissa, and I kind of give her some pointers on why, what to do, why to do it. You know what I mean? She was very humble and listened and things like that. So I don't have beef with Chantelle. Bustos is a little 130 pounder fighting at 140. You know what I mean? I mean, realistically, if more than likely your next fight is going to be a Kaylee Reis, I get somebody Kaylee Reis's dimensions. I don't get a little 5'4". I don't get a 5'4" Argentinian. I don't. I get somebody her body dimensions. That's what I would do. As a practice run.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I would do.
She did fight Mary prior too, and we're kind of the same size, I guess. Well, not the same style.
No, it's two totally different styles. So this all boils down to matchmaking and being an effective matchmaker and being an effective manager. If you have a chance to simulate a bigger fight with somebody that's not as skilled as the bigger fight, you should have went ahead and did that. You know what I mean? Because the punches that you threw on Bustos is not going to work on her, because Bustos is smaller, shorter reach, doesn't have as much power. She should have fought a taller girl, 5'7", 5'8", basically the same dimensions as her. I mean, they're out there all over the place. It's just like I said, matchmaking is a little lazy.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Because like you say, it's not a similarity at all, really, is it? So yeah, could it be a wasted opportunity, you think?
It's a wasted opportunity, and you could have heard the crowd or lack thereof. The crowd was.
It was so quiet, and UK, I loved
the UK.
Going there, but it was quiet. You could just feel that she was just going through the motions. Like she can feel her aggravation. And again, just like he said, I have no beef with Cameron. Actually, like we talk frequently, and she basically said when things were kind of getting around that I was having health issues, she reached out to me, said, "Hey, Kaylee, fight aside. I just hope that you get, good luck on everything with your health. I hope you get your health. The fight doesn't even matter. Your health is more important." So there's no beef between us. Like we have mutual respect, and just like I love fighting good fighters, she's the same way. So this fight has been in the making, besides the undisputed fight, for about 2 or 3 years now. The people wanted us to fight for a long time, so when we finally do, I know it's going to be great. So there's no beef with her. I can just see her just kind of going. It was like watching sparring somebody that's not on your level. That's, again, not saying she looked bad. It's just you can see she's just going through the motions, man. She's just frustrated.
I was there. And I think the Babbage fight was before, and that was, I don't know if you got to see that fight. That was just the most bizarre fight. So the crowd was like,
"Oh, how was it? Wait, how was it?"
It went the distance, which obviously everyone's quite surprised about. The first 4 rounds, it was like a brawl. It was just, they are just swinging. Their eyes are closed. They're not even looking at what they're doing. It was madness. And then they gassed out, and it went very quiet. And then I was a bit like, "Oh God, come on, I want this to finish." But then the last 2 rounds were bizarre. And then Babbage's opponent, I can't pronounce the surname, but the bell went, and then he hit him with a clean hook, and Babbage was gone. And then he sat in his corner, then he got back up, and you could see his legs were gone. And he just stood there, just with his eyes closed, just trading, and he survived. And it was, He's such a fan favorite. So I think it was quite hard for Chantelle to come out after him because I think we were all so exhausted from that fight.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Because but then, like you say, I think it was just like a sparring session for Chantelle. She won every round. She's done exactly what she needed to do, and it must be quite hard to get like motivated for that fight, knowing that she was hoping to be fighting you, who's such a great champion. And it's like, I've got boost off now. And I spoke to Chantelle briefly before the fight, and she has so much respect for you both. And she said, I'm not looking past boost-offs, but, she is looking for them big fights. That'll motivate her.
Yeah, 100%. And that's probably why, like, Katie looked shitty in her her last, 4 fights prior to
exact same situation,
Right, so it's the same situation. And like again, Chantelle is never disrespect. She's always been really nice and things like that. So, certain fighters, you don't mind talking shit about, but her, you can't really say anything bad about her. What I mean? She's a good girl. She's sweetheart, and like I said, I want the best Kaylee Reis. We want the best Chantelle Cameron, and that's only going to happen when she's healthy. And until then, I'm sorry that she's frustrated, and I get it, but I'm not putting her at risk, her health in a fight that she can one punch, she could lose her life, God forbid. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, and I hate to say, be crass and say you're just gonna have to wait. That's pretty much it.
Like I did, I already went into those last 2 fights at 50%, and no disrespect, not saying any disrespect to Diana Prazak or Jessica by any means. However, Jessica Camara and Diana Prazak aren't Chantelle Cameron, and I'm very well aware of that. So I can't go in there like, I'm just gonna go and wing it. Hell no, I know I gotta be on, and she wouldn't expect anything less than my 100% because I know she's gonna bring the 100%.
She wouldn't want you to fight at 50% because she's very much like yourself. You want to fight the best version of your opponent, not a 50% version.
Yep,
so exactly. And like you say, and I think she, when I spoke to her, she said, if I have to wait, I have to wait. And obviously she'll just get other fights in the meantime. She did call out Jessica McCaskill, saying she's quite interested in that fight.
See that?
I'd like to see
McCaskill got to make it past the Barra, and that's no easy task. I made that fight. That fight. So that's not an easy task, man. Ibarra is not just any type of Mexican. She's a Mexican that can box.
She can box her ass off. Like I was supposed to fight her during the pandemic, but it got canceled. And I was like, yo, she can really box. She's skilled.
Yeah.
So and she's big.
She's 5'9". Yeah, she's 5'9". Right, Jessica's a fidget. You know what I mean? Compared to her, she's a little fidget. Yeah. So it's gonna be an interesting fight, man. So Jessica should focus on Ibarra. Maybe Dick Ramos could not bring some amateurs in there for her to spar and get some professionals.
Because I know when Chantelle mentioned it, Rick was straight away on Twitter saying that he's up for the fight for Jessica, but for all of her belts, all of Chantelle's belts.
I mean, that's one thing. I'm sorry to cut you off. This is another thing I'm getting kind of annoyed about is everybody's treating her as she's already undisputed. Like, let's be real. The Ring Magazine belt is a trophy. No disrespect. I absolutely love it. But she has 2. I have 3. I have 3 world title belts. She has 2 world title belts and a trophy, which I love the Ring Magazine belt. I want it too. However, don't treat her like she's already undisputed. Sir, but everybody's like almost looking past me. And I'm like, wait, guys, I'm still here. I still have 3 belts that she wants. And she has 2 and 3 that I want. So,
well, who made that comment?
Rick Ramos.
Real quick, and this is a little snippet that you could probably chop out and send it to him. So in Chicago, where he's from, there was a guy named John Wayne Gacy. He was a famous serial killer, but he dressed up like a clown. It was Pogo the Clown, his name was. There was also another guy named Homie the Clown. He was from Chicago. Now there's a third clown named Dick Ramos, and he gallivants around Chicago thinking he's a boxing god or something.
Why?
And Dick.
I've just learned a lot about Chicago's history then as well, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
No, but yeah, so and you said that and I was like, Chantelle doesn't have all the belts. And she, when I spoke to Chantelle, she said she's not really bothered about the belts at the minute. She just wants to fight. So I don't think she just wants to fight Jessica because Jessica's there to potentially fight. She would never be the one to say you can have all my belts because she knows she hasn't got them. But everyone, like you say, is jumping ahead and forgetting, like, the fight between you two will happen just when you're both 100%. Everyone needs to remember that.
they'll remember it. That's fine. And again, I'd be going off on Twitter, but I'm like off social media for a while now. But I had a little time in my travels when I was working and I went off. But I'm over it now. It's just I work in silence, so I know Chantelle's gonna bring her game and bring my A game. It's gonna be a super fight. So when that happens, let's go. Maybe it will happen on the undercard of Serrano Taylor too. I don't know.
Yes. Fingers crossed. So I can actually ask you about that fight. Who did you think won, Taylor or Serrano?
I believe it could have gone either way, but I think he pulled off the little extra at the end, those championship rounds. But I wouldn't have been mad at Amanda winning. I wouldn't have been mad at the draw. It's about those championship rounds. And God bless Katie Taylor's chin and legs.
Wow.
I was like, oh no. If it was a 12-round fight or if it was a 3-minute fight, I don't think she would have made it out of that round like an extra minute. But her ability to hold on and get cracked, both of them, they would beat out of each other. But I mean, a lot of people saw it another way, but I have so much respect for both of them because it was an amazing fight. And women's boxing headline an entire Madison Square Garden $1 million fight. Like, that's crazy. So I would love to see that fight again. And I'm glad that fight where they're fighting good people, because again, you get kind of bored when you're fighting opposition that's not really skilled. So it was
and Katie had looked quite poor, in my opinion, like we said before, the prior few. I don't want to say poor, actually, that's not the right word, but just there for the sake of being there. And, she's ticking the boxes, she's doing what she has to do. And I mean, I wanted Amanda to win, and I thought she would. I thought she did actually on the night, but it could have went either way. But for Katie to survive that 5th round, I was like, what on earth? I did not know she had a chin like that. That was unbelievable.
I mean, I did, because we spar very frequently, and I'm bigger than her. And then headgear and bigger gloves, but I crack her with some shit.
Yeah.
Like, damn, okay, Katie, you got a good chin. That's that Irish, man. They got good chin.
Definitely. You just mentioned if it was 3-minute rounds, is that something you'd like in boxing, or would you like to stick with 2?
I say stick with 2, and add 2 more rounds to championship fights. Because
I like that.
10 twos is no, but if you add 12 twos, yes, and start there. Number one being, I'm not doing more work for the same pay. Fuck that. Nope, I'm not doing that. It's not the question of are we able to. We're very capable of doing that. That's the way we train. 3-minute rounds, 30-second rest. However, the pay needs to get better. And I believe we still have a lot of work to do as far as networks and promoters putting female fighters on. Now, if you put a female fight that's longer and it's a shitty fight, if you watch a guy's fight and it's a crap fight, it's long and it's like,
oh God, I know.
But there's really no bad female fight. It may lack skill sometimes, but it's 2 minutes. We got to get in there, get our shots out. So if you add 3-minute rounds, the promoters and the networks are not going to want to put female fights on because they're going to be longer. But if you add just 2 more rounds, you'll be able to still keep a number of female fights on, but have a fan-friendly fight in a fight that makes sense with more respect to an undisputed or world title fight, adding those 12 twos. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I agree with that, definitely. Brian, what's your opinion on it all?
No. I echo the same sentiments. Me and her usually talk a lot about it, so she basically echoed what I said. But I think undisputed titles, add 2 rounds to it, and then see how that goes. I mean, the WBC came up with this theory that there's head trauma issue, 6-9er, whatever, man. You know what I mean? But they're also the same group that they try to advocate for females, but yet you don't treat them as the males. You know what I mean? In the males, anything above 147, you wear 10-ounce gloves. As in the females, when you're fighting for a WBC title, it has to be 135. You wear 10-ounce gloves. So there has to be some type of balance. You're either half in or half out. You don't want equality for females, but yet you treat them as a lesser athlete, and they're not. You know what I mean? That's why I manage 20-something females, because I believe in them. I think they fight and train harder than the males. So, if they're doing undisputed fights or unification fights, I would say add the extra 2 rounds and then see how that goes. And I don't think it has anything to do with head trauma in one fight. The trauma usually happens in training. How many rounds do you spar, right, for a fight? How many rounds did you spar for a fight?
Like 40 rounds a week.
Like, we'll do 40 rounds a week. You know what I mean? Like we'll come to the UK and
we got 40 rounds.
We got 40 rounds in, like with Hannah Rankin and Noel. He'll set up a bunch of boxing with fighters from Team GB and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
That's where the head trauma happens. It happens in sparring. I don't care. You got a big goofy headgear on. Your head's still getting knocked around. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, of course. Yeah.
I think that's something to look at.
And the head trauma happened. I mean, look at Ayala. I mean, I hope she's doing okay. And the other Mexican girl that passed away, it's gonna box and it's gonna happen. Unfortunately, I never, and I don't have that thought like, oh, I can get head trauma. I don't think like that. Fighters are a special kind of crazy. So I don't, like he said, I don't think they need to change their rules. I'm not.
No, definitely. And I would definitely like to see the 12 rounds, especially like you say, that Serrano Taylor fight. What would have happened then? There were so many fights that if you had them extra 2 rounds, so much could change in that time. So maybe, you know, by time, you know, you and Cameron fight, I mean, could we push it? Could it happen that quick? Because something has to change soon. I mean, everyone talks about it. You think, how long is everyone going to talk about it? Like, when does action start happening? It's got to happen sooner rather than later, you'd think.
Yeah, it's annoying to just hear. It's like they just keep beating that same drum.
Yeah,
joke.
No, it's they just keep beating that 3-minute rounds. Like just bump it up to 12 rounds, unification, and
and then go from there, can't you?
Just go from there. You know, just stop. You know what I mean? Just stop. I just feel like there's nothing else to write or nothing else to talk about. They regurgitate that like every so many minutes. It's annoying.
There hasn't been female fights that were 3-minute rounds, but they weren't significant. Like, there's been quite a few 3-minute round female fights. And nobody, you know, did a whole parade about it. It just didn't change anything. I think the two out of the 2 rounds will be fan friendly too, because you got to remember that everybody's a female boxing fan yet. Have a lot more fans, but I think it'd be more fan friendly instead of throwing 3-minute 12s for a female fight at them. Kind of
100%. No, I agree with that. Kelly and Brian, thank you so much for your time. Kelly, thank you for sharing your story, because I mean, like I say, I am sorry you're going through that. I do hope you get to the other end sooner rather than later and we see you back in the ring. You know, like you say, hopefully for the Taylor Serrano undercards. I mean, dream come true, come over to Ireland. I'd love that.
That's neutral ground. So.
Or maybe we fight in the United States when Shannon Courtenay has to bring her ass over here to fight Jamie Mitchell.
Oh, can I ask about that really quick before I let you go?
Go on.
So, I mean, Shannon Courtenay's been out the ring a long time. She's had surgery, injuries, all of that. I'm going to presume she wants a warm-up fight and then Jamie. I saw Jamie Mitchell put a while ago. I think it was a trainer that Shannon wants the rematch in the UK, and I was like, Jamie has the belt. I never understand why they can dictate that at all.
I don't know. That fight's not happening in the UK. Don't get me wrong, I love the UK. I love coming over there. Y'all, I love it there. I love the UK fans. I love everybody over there. That fight's not happening there. And if she thinks it is, you know, she got a better chance of becoming the Pope.
Jamie deserves, you know, that rematch to be in America. It deserves to be on her chosen ground to some degree, doesn't it? Surely to God, because she come to Liverpool. She actually comes. That's where I'm from. I sat front row, watched that fight. Didn't he have it a split decision, or it was very close? It was some bizarre score. I felt
it was like one score. I was like, wait, what?
Well,
it was just strange because Jamie won virtually every round, in my opinion, on that fight.
Well, I mean, so listen, not to rewind all the way to the beginning. Look at Ebanie's fight with Shannon. I didn't think them scores were crazy too.
Yeah. They were all,
So we're not coming there to fight. You know, again, love the UK, but she could bring her.
And technically there's a rematch clause and she wants to exercise it. Does she have to have, or can she even have a warm-up before that?
No, they're going to have to.
With the warm-up? No. All right, guys, let me just say this. Guys, girls, cut the shit with the warm-up. If you got into this fight game, especially if you've been in it 5, 6, 7, 8 years, stop with the warm-up bullshit, please, because we got to take the opportunities because our pools are still shallow. So everybody who says, they need a warm-up fight, stop with the bullshit, please. You're a fighter. Just fight. Just fucking fight, please. There's still 2-minute rounds. Just fucking fight. That's your warm-up.
It wastes time for like Jamie Mitchell. How long she got to wait round then? You know, obviously she had the fight against Carly Skelly. She disposed of Carly quite in nice fashion fairly early on. I mean, was she just going to sit around and wait for Shannon to have a tune-up fight and then to then battle for God knows how long of where the fight's going to be held. Like,
no,
get
no,
on with it.
we're not going to battle for anything. The fight's happening here, but currently I'm actually renegotiating her deal with Matchroom.
Right, okay.
So you got a bunch of inside scoops. You're a little.
I'm liking this. I'm liking it.
That's like me saying when I'm finally ready, oh no, wait, hold on. I'm not gonna fight Chantelle. I'm gonna take a 6-round warm-up. We're way beyond that. I would never.
Yes.
I was actually gonna ask that, and then I thought no, because I don't think you would take a tune up, so I'm gonna leave asking that.
How will I be a unified champion with 3 titles and saying I need a warm-up? I'm gonna fight a 6-rounder warm-up here and at the 2300 in Philadelphia. No, I'm gonna go right back to business.
Yeah. So
pick up where you left off, don't you?
Yeah, if she thinks she's going to get a warm up and we're just going to sit around twiddling our thumbs, that's not going to happen. That's no, that's not happening. And I think that's probably why they're trying to renegotiate the contract to get a couple more fights out of Jamie. But I'm not as dumb as I look.
I think it's quite brave Shannon wanting the rematch, in my opinion. I don't think the weight suits her at all. Anyway, I think she needs to move up weight, and I don't see she can win no matter what she does. In my opinion, I think it's quite a brave. Why don't
she fight Scotney? That's a great fight for the UK. It's a great fight.
And they're both former. They used to be stablemates as well, so that there's a little rivalry, of course. That you can sell that fight quite nicely, actually. Yeah.
Play matchmaker and promoter. Look at you.
Well, I need to start getting paid, don't I? I'm gonna keep Eddie hearing this. Thank you both so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Like I say, we can get out there. Hopefully people now will understand why that fight hasn't happened. Clearly you've not ran it. Clearly after all these years and you get your opportunity, you've not just ran away. Hopefully people can start to understand that now. Not that you have to explain yourself, but thank you for doing it. So obviously.
And thank you for creating the space for me to do, because now I feel better. Now everybody can go suck a big bag of dicks.